Okay, time for Brundle to turn into a fly. So here we're at the beginning of lesson 12. Let's forget about the fly for a second. Forget about the teapot. Let's just talk about our guy here. The particles are not going to just stream off anymore, right? We're going to do something exciting. We want to move them along that curve, and then we want to kind of conform them into the shape of the teapot. So how would we do such mad, crazy things? The answer is there's a lot of things inside of DOP-nets that, I probably complained about this before, but I like to have things say use first. I'm going to make this huge. Use first context geometry, but a lot of other objects don't have the options of doing this. And the reason I like this, you can really see what's going into it. I hate having this guy have a reference to some other particle or object somewhere else in the network and stuff. And if you give that to somebody else in a scene, like you're an effects lead and you're giving that to another technical director, digital artist to do stuff, they got to go digging around and hope that didn't get deleted and blah blah blah. It doesn't make a difference on how things work here, but it makes a big difference on how people work and how somebody goes, oh, this only uses the things that go into it because that's the paradigm we are. Okay, so I'm actually going to make another, I'm going to bring in an object merge. We're basically going to need the teapot, the object B, fly. We're going to need him for, might it be her, for an object to be our kind of destination. Okay, so there's our fly, right? And just to be clear, I did actually put fly on the final thing. Well, let's use object. We have to use object teleport. Sorry, and that makes more sense anyway. Okay. I was having fun. Let's just call object to teleport because it'll be object teleport on the other side too. And we're going to do the opposite of everything we're doing here. We're going to do the opposite when we. Oh, I haven't given that secret away yet. We'll do the opposite. Just don't worry. So there's that goes into it. Actually, let's take it and put it in the third one. And let's grab the. I'm just copying and pasting an object merge here because I'm going to bring the teleportation curve in. Teleportation curve in and put that in the second input. And of course, we name everything. Okay, so when we're inside here, we'll be using op input 1, 2, and 3. And you're going to think that's a bit of a pain. We could have just done it directly or done an actual reference. But this way you can go, oh, it needs these three things. If I copy this somewhere else, it needs these three things. Okay, enough of my complaining. So a lot of this stuff's going to be the same. We're still going to generate points. We're still going to have them go out. They're still going to have an initial size. We're still have a color from them. They're going to do some crazy noise. We had a couple noise options we did before. You know what? Just for fun, I'm going to do both of them. Whoops. I'm going to literally do both noises. You know why? Because I can. And drag and so forth. And so the question is, what do we do different? Well, I want those particles to move along a curve. So fortunately, something that did survive from when they switched over pops is something called pop curve force. Okay, I'm going to put that puppy right in there. I'm going to make it a different color because it's special. Pop curve force. I'm going to take off the 1 because those bug me. Okay, so what does pop curve force do? You can, actually you can do this now, right? I was going to put an op input blah, blah, blah here. So we grabbed the second input. Yeah, second input. But fortunately now pop curve force actually does let it take the second context geometry. Nice. So we'll do that. Now pop curve force has a bunch of cool stuff in here. And if you ever screw around with it, you've probably seen it before. And it also has really cool visualizations. Let's actually take a look at it. Look at that. It's got arrows and red things and God knows what's going on there. So the main thing I wanted to point out is we're going to screw around with these numbers quite a bit in the sense that the follow scale, it's weird. I know these things. It's hard to say how to put them into words. Follow scale is the force that pushes the particles along the curve like that. Okay. Suction scale is how much they get sucked in this direction towards the center point. Not how much they get sucked on the curve, but sucked towards the curve itself. Orbit scale is how they get moved around that. And if you did my tutorial on the tornado, you know you can mix these guys together a lot, and they're loads of fun. Then on top of that, they have a force fall off, but that's from the curve, a suction fall off, again from the curve. And then there's also a velocity fall off, and then another global one along the curve, and then shaping stuff for that, and it gets all crazy. And this allows you to do things like so we're not going to screw with a lot of this too much, with the exception of we're going to make this a little bigger. And the thing I wanted to say is this follow scale, suction scale, orbit scale, that's kind of the cool stuff. And I want to basically use that. But I want to use it. The trick we're going to do later on, I'll just give it away. We're going to do basically inverse of everything on the other thing and have these guys kind of meet in the middle, and that's how teleportation is going to look seamless. But the main thing is we're going to need to use this number again. So we said we're going to have any big controls like that, we're going to put them in controls. So I'm actually going to take, I'm going to put things for follow scale, and I'll just call it follow, I'll call it follow scale, fine. Follow scale, suction scale, and orbit scale, right? And I'm just copying these. The screen might not be big enough for you to see, but I'm doing, that's going to be follow scale. This one's going to be suction scale. Suction scale. And this last one's going to be orbit scale. Orbit scale. Orbit scale. Orbit scale. And we'll apply, and I'm going to hook these guys up, and we'll start them at 1, 1, 1. So you can see what I'm doing here. This is kind of, whoops, kind of the not super exciting part, but we're going to basically connect these guys. So bear with me for just a moment as we hook all these controls up. I'm going to put the controls over here so they're easier to access. And inside of here, it's a little pain. I probably should have, whoops, that was actually suction scale. Always delete that so you don't get confused when you're going back and forth. Then finally, orbit scale. And then in orbit scale, we're going to paste, copy, roll out of reference. Okay. Now, there's a choice here to use a Vex expression, and you're going to wonder what that is to change things. Probably my cat in the background's annoying me. Yes, I have a cat. The thing we're going to do is, first, let's just take a look. Let's take a look at what happens when we just birth things and let them go. You can see them getting born here. Let's make this big. You can see them getting born here and kind of getting pushed on. Oh, actually, this is really high res. Let's use fewer particles. Sorry, we've got like 20,000 particles, right? We don't need that many. So for what we're going to do is we're going to, let's take this down by literally that much. I know you're like, whoa, that's way too much. I can't believe it. But what we care about right now is movement, not beauty of our final thing. So we do this, and then we can see movement and watch how it goes. And you can see, oh, it moves a little bit, but it's really, really pathetic and weak, right? So fortunately, we've got our numbers to change out here. I'm going to crank these puppies up. Let's actually turn off the curve and turn off that, and set this to just be that. And now if you watch them, they just do that, right? So let's crank up the follow scale first. Let's just go. When you change numbers, change the powers to 10 first. Never go like, oh, 2, 3 and wimpy. You go like 10, 100, 50 and find out. Then we'll find out what things are. Okay, so that's making it go there. That's pretty good. Where's our other object, just so we know where it's going? Yeah, I'd say let's make it stronger. There's also some shaping we're going to do. You can see it sucks out of the center a lot and not as much on the sides. That's the shaping thing. But first, let's screw on some other things. How about the suction scale and orbit scale? Let's crank these guys up a little bit. Yeah, sure. See what that does. Weep, weep, weep. And they tend to get over there, and that's actually getting mildly interesting. So let's now mess with some of the other things inside of here that we aren't gonna. You could make these out. You could change those as well, but the basic things are we want to screw around with the like let's have the follow force fall off from curve not be so severe. Let's have the suction force not, it was really strong with this. Let's have that not be so severe. And then, actually, let's just make these exactly half. Just so if you're following along at home, exactly half is fine. And then what are we going to do with, there's something we're going to do with vex. I was going to try to get around using the vex expressions because simplifying is always better. Okay, this is the velocity force fall from curve. I'm going to put that at half. And that's probably from what we're going to use in just a bit. So trust me on this for a second, and let's just take a look. You can actually have this playing while you're changing things. Okay, so now we've got a little bit more movement. I feel like I still want some more guys out there. So let's go over to, let's take a look at shaping. Do we want to change this shape? Not sure. How about global forces? Anything interesting there? I guess I want to say max influence radius could be a little bit bigger. Let's just start doing my vex expressions, I was going to say. Okay, so what would we do with vex expressions in here? First place, notice you have choices of pass-through there, which is kind of neat. Let's leave this alone. I'm in vex expressions on this other guy. Where's it? These guys. See, there's a vex expression here. That can change the forces as well. Give it a pass-through, and it does this. It says, here's how we can change things like the incoming velocity and blah, 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 blah. I have a weird idea, which is, we have colors here of the particles, like they start out red and then they turn to blue or blah, blah, blah. What if we actually use that as these forces? Because we can't put like $CR into here, but since we're allowed vex expressions, I'm going way over time, sorry. I'm going to say having a strength here, and let's have the strength. How do you spell the word strength? Jeez Louise. Strength. Maybe I should have used a different word. Let's have it be a fit 0, 1. And here we can use, remember, we have to use the @ sign for attributes. For attributes here. Personally, I think they should do that everywhere. Let's say, let's try using the green for a second. What did I say? Blue? Let's try using the green and see what that does. And let's have it go, green guys, as they go from one color to another, are stronger. And let's just have everybody times equal, maybe not these incoming guys. Let's have everybody times equal the strength. Okay, I'm actually going to stop the lesson here. Come back for the next lesson. We're going to screw around with this and do some cool stuff, and I'll show it to you. I hate to keep in suspenders, but it's cool stuff, and I don't want to just like rush past it.